Hi, this is a video to show you a free way to write on PDF files um, using Adobe Acrobat Reader. If you don't already have it, well, here's a model of a student's paper on the left, and on the right is the correction, which you can do in just a minute or two. If you don't have Adobe Acrobat Reader already, you can just do a Google search, Adobe Acrobat Reader, download or télécharger for the French version, and unclick these two options, télécharger or download, and install it. And then I'll show you here what you need to do to add these comments. This one simple tool that you need. There's many options, but just use the fountain pen, signer, and again it's right here, signer, and you have these options here to write X, check, circle. So here you can write. I ask my students to write in blue, but for corrections you can do it in red and make it larger. You can move it around. You can delete it. Then you can add X, a check, make it bigger, move it around, delete. Same thing with underline, with X's, with circling something. So this is pretty much all you need to be able to make basic corrections in 1 or 2 minutes. Now, if you want to add more detailed comments and longer ones, there's one other tool I recommend is commentaire. And the two most useful are zone de texte and legend de texte. You still have the same functions like flash, arrow, line. You can make a rectangle around something just like we did here with, but we don't have check or X here. Legend de texte is very nice because you can put an arrow and then put some text somewhere else. And with this, you also have the option to you can change the font, change the background. The way to change the font is to go to propriété du texte, text properties. Then you have a lot of options. You can change how the font, the size, bold, italics, etc. You can center it. You have a lot of options. And if you lose this text options, just go to the options again, propriété du texte. In the text box, you can also click outside, click on the edge to select, and you go to properties, and you can change the opacity. You can change the style of the line. You can make it. You can change the background, for instance. It can change the thickness. Okay. So this is about all you need for most of the corrections that will be necessary. I'll add a couple more notes here. You can continue watching if you want for a couple more. The zone de texte is also useful. It's very similar to the one I used with legend de texte. That's the one with the arrow, and this other one is very similar. You also have a spell check. If you put some text in here, bonjour, right away you'll see if it's misspelled according to your language version. If you have English language, it will show you English spelling mistakes. If you have French, French spelling mistakes. And let's draw a line. If you want to make a line, it's not easy to make it straight, but if you hold shift, it will limit you. It will give you vertical, diagonal, 45 degrees, or horizontal. So it's a little bit easier to do lines actually with this tool. And let's see, the arrow, and you also have options for changing the line width, the color, the thickness, the head of the arrow, etc. One thing that's kind of tricky is if you're in commentary and you want to change something here. It's like, wow, you can't change it. You need to go close the commentary, go back to the signé, the stylo plume, fountain pen. Then you can modify these things. Normally, sometimes you need to click, okay, now it did it. I'm going to undo that. I want to keep it. Let's try undo again. Okay, actually the undo now is doing the things from the commentary, so that's another strange thing. Sometimes it's not, it didn't undo what I did here. What did it say here? Bien fait, or so undo sometimes doesn't work with the stylo plume, with the signing. It works better with commentary, the undo. And remember, there's lots of options. Always remember to enregistrer sous. The way I ask them to do it is, the students to do is class CU1 espace tiret espace liam space dash space, and then the name of the assignment. And then for me, if I correct it, then I'll put dash space corriger. Okay. Let's see, other tricky thing is, and also once if you're in here, sometimes you can't select, it's hard to select the things you've done in the commentary tool. So you can go back to commentary and hide this. It often expands to show the history of your comments. So you can expand, you can shrink it if it's getting in the way. You can shrink it, and now you'll be able to modify this. One other thing to notice, if you try to, let's click on the outside. If I try to move it now, it will move the whole thing. And if that's not what you wanted, which it's not, I'll undo and I'll select, and you need to hold in the center. Click and hold in the center, then the arrow will stay. So that's kind of a tricky thing. That's not intuitive. And then you can also move the arrow. And of course you can change all these styles. I'll show you one more example if you're still here, say for more for collège. So here for the students, I recommend that they use the signing tool, the fountain pen, stylo plume. They can write their class, for instance, troisième. Okay, it's bugging a little. Troisième, except they're going to use blue and write the name, for instance, name and date, make it bigger, smaller again, can put their numbers in the boxes. Very easy for them to fill out these PDF documents, and then when it's, the student name would be, for instance, should be like 3E espace tiré espace Dupont Pierre espace tiré espace, and then the name like fiche d'élève découvert mini robot, something like that. So then when they send it to you, you save it as enregistré sous right away. Like his should be titled, and I will change it when they send it if they haven't, like troisième espace tiré espace Dupont Pierre, and something like this. And then for the correction, I'll just add corriger to the end. And yeah, for the crushing, you'll change to red, and you can put your text, and this one should have been blue for the student, and then you can add your comments. Okay, or of course you can use the commentary tool and add more detailed comments and have more options, like again the legend text. Okay, yep, bon courage, good luck.